Good afternoon, everyone. My name is George McLaurin, and I am here today to briefly discuss some of the ways we address fire prevention here in our jurisdiction. As we all know, it is important to prevent fires before they can occur. Fire prevention is best accomplished using the three E's: engineering, enforcement, and education. Engineering is when building best practices are used to resist or prevent great loss of fire damage. This is done by using fireproof and fire-rated materials being used in construction of buildings. Then we move on to enforcement. Once these practices and materials are designed, local code officials ensure the materials are being used in these buildings by performing inspections. And our last E is education. We need to teach fire prevention and what to do in case of a fire to all ages. All ages should receive fire and life safety education. Schools should reinforce fire and life safety by having fire drills monthly. Adults should have fire and life safety education for both work and home scenarios. Senior citizens or personnel who may be disabled should be trained as they have limitations. It may take them longer to evacuate, or they may need assistance in evacuating. All of this should be coupled with general fire prevention tips such as housekeeping, not leaving the iron plugged in at home, and closing doors behind you to slow down fire from spreading. The way the fire code is enforced in our jurisdiction is Cumberland County has a fire prevention code program. This program is enforced by the fire marshal. The fire marshal governs 2 fire inspectors who cover all rural areas of Cumberland County, as well as the surrounding towns of Linden, Godwin, Falcon, and Stedman. The fire marshal's office inspects and enforces the North Carolina Fire Prevention Code and local ordinances. The Fire Marshal's Office serves as a liaison between the Cumberland County government and contracted fire departments. Our local jurisdiction applies code to new and existing occupancies. Cumberland County's Fire Prevention Code is a set of minimum mandatory fire safety standards applied to all occupancies throughout the country. This is done by performing an inspection. During the inspection, they check for general precautions against fire, fire protection requirements, electrical safety, exit and egress maintenance, flammable and liquid safety, and other specialized operation safety requirements. Earlier, we briefly discussed engineering and fire-resistant building materials. Currently, there are no local organizations that determine fire resistance of building materials, but normally the American Society for Testing of Materials and the NFPA set these standards, while companies like Intertek will conduct the testing. Some of the types of tests used to determine fire ratings of building components are Steiner tunnel test and the full-scale furnace test. The first is used for materials, and the second is used for assemblies of materials. Once tested and rated, materials such as doors, wall components will be labeled with their ratings. The way this applies to our local inspection and code enforcement is a certain type or size of building may require a door that is fire rated for 2 hours. What this means is if a fire was to start on one side of that door, it should take at least 2 hours for the fire to burn through that door and continue to spread throughout the building. Our local inspectors make sure when these types of buildings are identified as needing a door rated for at least 2 hours, have the correct doors in place when being inspected. Some characteristics of unsafe structures in our area related to code requirements may be old abandoned homes, deteriorated inside and outside, buildings that have been damaged from fire, flooding, etc. Buildings with faulty wiring and gas lines. Buildings that may be in good shape, but were built prior to new and existing fire codes. An example would be an old home that was not designed to handle some of the electrical demands of modern technology and things we have in our homes nowadays. Something that may cause for changes soon will be electric battery car chargers in homes. A building construction type in our area that poses the biggest hazards for fire spread are type 5 wood frame construction, which is what our family homes are built from. The interior walls are usually covered in plaster or drywall, most composed of engineered lightweight wood and laminate components used in ceilings and floor trusses, which promotes rapid fire spread. The platform, post, beams, and plank are all formed from wood frame construction, and that is why the education in our 3 E's is very important. With all of that being said, that is why plan review and structural control as a means for fire protection would improve the safety of unsafe structures in our area. Plan review and structure control can ensure that builders are not cutting corners and using the proper fire rated materials. By implementing plan review and structural control, we can implement the 3 E's at all stages. That was engineering, enforcement, and education. Thank you.